Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to Confessions of a Domestic Engineer, the Bon Scott AC/DC era wrap up. This is actually my second time recording this. I don't know what I did with the video footage for the first time I recorded. I don't know if I accidentally deleted it, if I shifted it into a different folder, what. I have no clue. So, this is my second time recording this, and this time around I have it a little more linear, so this is going to work a little better. So let's roll my intro and then go into it. Alright, so I'm going to do my album listing first. I'm going to do this backwards. So out of everything in the Bon Scott era of AC/DC albums, my least favorite is If You Want Blood, which is the live album from that era. My biggest gripe against If You Want Blood is the fact that the album is predominantly Let There Be Rock and Powerage, which, if you watch my reviews, you'll know those are the two albums from that era that I'm kind of the least into. So a live album from that era really isn't going to do a whole lot for me, right? And speaking of, that then takes me into Let There Be Rock. If it was not for a whole lot of Rosie, this album in general would have pretty much very little saving grace to me. It is not an album that I ever go out of my way to really listen to. And even when I went through and I was catching up on Bon Scott reviews and whatnot, I really just wasn't overly impressed with listening to this album. As a teenager, I wasn't impressed. In my 20s, I wasn't impressed. In my 30s, I wasn't impressed. In my 40s, I'm still not impressed with the Let There Be Rock album. Which then takes us into Powerage. This one, a little bit different than Let There Be Rock. In my teens, was not into this album. In my 20s, was not into this album. In my 30s, I honestly didn't listen to this album. In my 40s, I really got into this album. Not a huge chunk, not more than other albums I haven't talked about yet. But there definitely were some cuts on this album that I really feel that I may have overlooked over the years. It's one of those albums, I know a lot of people have referred to it as AC/DC's best. I know Keith Richards himself said that he thought it was Bon Scott's best work. I don't know if I entirely agree with that. Matter of fact, I know I don't entirely agree with that, but, you know, it is what it is. After Powerage. Alright, this album, people are going to be surprised. One, that I put it on here. Two, I put it on here where I did. And that is AC/DC's 74 Jailbreak. Now, this is technically an American release from the American side of the releases. And it's only an EP, and it's full of songs that never got released on American editions of albums. Most people don't know this, and if you haven't watched all my other reviews and you're watching this one first when it comes to AC/DC, the Dirty Deeds album and the High Voltage album both had different track listings. Not totally and completely different track listings, but there were definitely different tracks listings, different songs appeared on different albums, stuff like that. And there's some songs that appeared on those albums in the Australian release that did not appear on the albums in the US release, and eventually those songs got released on this EP, which is the 74 Jailbreak album. Now, the big standout song on this is 74 Jailbreak, and it's weird because this one had a music video for it, but somehow didn't get released until the 80s in the US. Go figure, right? But this one's also got a great cover of Baby Please Don't Go. Great tune. You're talking the Big Joe Williams classic, Baby Please Don't Go. Baby Please Don't Go. Baby Please Don't Go down to New Orleans. You know I love you so. Baby Please Don't Go. Yeah. After 74 Jailbreak, we get into High Voltage. Now, I really had a toss-up between High Voltage or Dirty Deeds as to which one was going to go next on this list. And the only reason I rank Dirty Deeds above High Voltage is more personal reasons than anything. High Voltage, fantastic album. It is, to this day, one of my most played AC/DC albums still. And the only albums I put on more than probably High Voltage when it comes to AC/DC in general is the two albums I'm about to say next. So, you got Dirty Deeds, which I already mentioned, and then finishing off with Highway to Hell. Highway to Hell was the Bon Scott masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. There is no bad song pretty much on Highway to Hell. It was everything you wanted in an AC/DC album. Everything you could ask for as a last album from the band. Last studio album is just magnificent, fantastic. And it really is a shame that we lost Bon Scott. So, that's my list. I'm going to put the pretty pictures here. You guys can see them all over the place, whatever. All right. Now, let's go into songs. All right. I'm going to do this one backwards as well. So, number 10, Big Balls. I'm ever upper class high society. God's gift to ballroom notoriety. It is so juvenile, and I love how this song goes because everybody's got to know I got the biggest balls of all. Oh, I got big balls. I got big balls. All right, moving on. What's Next to the Moon off of Power Age? Now, I was looking at Power Age. I'm like, I got to put a song on here, definitely from Power Age. And I wasn't sure. But What's Next to the Moon really set itself off when I was listening to that album for the review. And I really dug into that tune. After that, we go into AC/DC Livewire. Another song. I kind of wish I would have left the bass out. I could have showed you this one too, because it's just bouncing off the one string. Just go. And that's all it is, man. It is great when you're going on the bass. It's one of the best parts about playing AC/DC on the bass. So easy. But Livewire is just... And the screams are like, I'm a live wire, I'm a live wire. You know, just... Oof, beautiful. And staying with the same album, TNT. Because I'm TNT. I've been a mainstay all these years. Even though, oddly, and I talked about this during the reviews, the next song I have on my list has not been a mainstay all these years. AC/DC's Dirty Deeds is number 6 on my list. And the reason why Dirty Deeds is number 6 on my list is I've played the song live. I know the song intimately. I've never really played it much on the guitar, but I've done the bass on it. I've jammed on the bass on it. Drums is what I've mostly played on it. I have sung this song inside and out, through and through, live on stage. This is just a great, awesome, fun song. And surprisingly, not in every AC/DC set list, especially during the Bon Scott era. With all the live albums I talked about, it was amazing that Dirty Deeds did not appear once on any of those live albums. Alright, now we're cracking into the top 5. We got Jailbreak. I already mentioned this one. I love the album. I love the song. That great line. With a bullet in his back. Jailbreak. Yeah, just great delivery. Bon Scott could deliver some songs, man. Dude could deliver. Then we got Whole Lotta Rosie. I could not make this list and leave Whole Lotta Rosie out. This one, I wouldn't have put it so high on the list if it didn't have so much personal value to me as well. This is one of those songs that me and my buddy Drew have jammed around on and screwed around on so many times over the years. And oddly, we have never played it live. We've talked about throwing it into some live sets a couple times, and it always gets backburnered for some reason. I never could give a good reason why. But it's just... I want to tell you a story about a woman I know. When it comes to loving, she really steals the show. Ain't exactly pretty, ain't exactly smart. Not trying to do those numbers. You can say she got loud. You know, just, oh my God, such a fun song. Then we got Highway to Hell. Another song I've actually played live, which is another reason why it's on this list. Another song I absolutely love from AC/DC. Great song. And really, do I need to say anything else about Highway to Hell other than Highway to Hell? Now the last two songs, number 1 and number 2, are interchangeable really on my list. Number 1 beats number 2 just barely, and if you watched all my other reviews, you should already know kind of how this is going to go. Number 2, AC/DC's Ride On. What is often considered Bon Scott's blues masterpiece with AC/DC. And without a doubt, it absolutely is. And you can just feel the emotion and the passion and everything in that song, and just that story of constantly moving on, man. Oh, beautiful. And then number 1, AC/DC's Night Prowler. Oh, this is my all-time favorite AC/DC song, and it has been my all-time favorite AC/DC song since the first time I had it. I briefly mentioned this, I think, during my review for Highway to Hell, that the two first AC/DC albums I had Back in Black and I had Highway to Hell. My uncle Matt had left his cassettes laying around unloved and abused, so I decided to educate myself on some AC/DC, and I borrowed his albums without his permission. Never said anything. That's how much he loved and missed them. And the very first time I put on, this would have been like 1992, maybe 91. Very first time I put on Highway to Hell and listened to it all the way through, and I got to Night Prowler at the end, and I just went, oh my God, this is amazing. And I have loved this song ever since, man. Ever since. It is so dark, and it is so ominous, and just beautiful. So, yeah, that's it. That is the big wrap up here for Bon Scott. I've done this once already. I'm going to do it again. Mork, take it away. Shazbot, no. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. We're just talking the Bon Scott era here, so let me know what you think. What's your list for the Bon Scott era? Your top 10 songs from the Bon Scott era, and how would you rate the albums from that era? I am curious. So, thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell for notifications. Like I said, leave me a comment. There's also a link down below that will take you over to my Patreon. Peace, love, take care. And one more time, Mork. Shazbot, no.